Go ahead.
Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Berean Television. The purpose of this video is to dispel a couple of internet myths. I've been on the internet and I'm listening to a lot of people, Dr. Ray Hagins and others, talking about the Nicene Council and how Europeans invented Jesus at the Nicene Council. Da Vinci Code, he picked the books. They picked the books of the Bible, and Constantine and the white man gave us Christianity and all this other stuff. And all of this stuff is not built on historical facts. A lot of people, they start making statements, but they're not quoting everybody. They're not quoting anybody on the historicity of the council. And I just want to straighten out some things. First of all, we need to understand that this took place among some African bishops, Arius and Athanasius. We got to understand the history of the council. Read books such as Eusebius' Ecclesiastical History. Look at first sources, original sources. Who were there? A lot of times people don't understand scholarship. Somebody will watch a video, I'll spread that video to somebody else, somebody will tell one person something, and they say, well, I heard they invented Christianity, the Nicene Council. Constantine invented Christianity. The white man gave us the Bible when we came here for slavery, and all those things are lies. Well, I'm here to dispel some of them lies. If you're conscious and you're in the conscious community, you read Dr. Ben, We the Black Jews. He'll tell you that Ethiopia is the first Christian nation. J.A. Rogers, 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro, the land of Cush. The kingdom of Ethiopia is the first nation to declare itself a Christian nation before the Roman Empire, before the Roman Catholic Church even came on the scene strong and took over Christianity. So these are lies. If we look at secular history, for instance, we can see that Nero is the one that burnt up Rome. When Rome was on fire, Nero blamed it on a group of people that were known as Christians. They fed Christians to the lions in the first century. So these are things that we have to look at. We can't sit back and believe what we see on YouTube. People talking about Christianity began in the 3rd century. What do we do with 275 years of church fathers and Christians being persecuted for what they believed? They worshiped Jesus in the 1st, 2nd, and 2nd century. So when people start dealing with the deity of Jesus Christ and what they did at the Nicene Council, we have to understand from original sources what the Nicene Council was about. The Nicene Council had nothing to do with no books in the Bible. Lost books of the Bible and the forgotten books of Eden. We're going to deal with all of that in some later videos. But we got to stop the lies. Ray Hagins, I'm calling you out. We got to stop the lies. You can't just sell them shirts. You can't sell them hats or sell them videos. Talking about you came to the light and you're telling us a whole bunch of stuff that's not right and exact, historically speaking. Osiris born of a virgin. Shout out to Polite. At least he straightened that out later on, because that's not in the Book of the Dead. Pyramid text, coffin text. We don't see that nowhere. We're gonna get into the whole Egyptology, Egypt mania and Egyptology. Maybe I should speak on some of that right now. We gotta understand how that whole thing began. In 1799, we have Napoleon running around in Africa doing what he want to do. He want to be like Alexander the Great, so he's taking over, he's robbing and just plundering everything in Egypt. And they came across a stone about a couple of miles outside of Cairo, which is in present-day Cairo, Egypt right now, and they came across a stone, and they took the stone back, and the stone had 3 languages on it. It had the hieroglyph, it had the Demotic language, which was a mixture of the ancient Egyptian language and the Greek language, and the bottom of the stone was Greek. They took it back, and in 1823, Jean Champollion interpreted, or he broke the code, and that stone is known as the Rosetta Stone. Right now, that's in the British Museum, and that's the birth of what we know as Egyptology. That birthed what's also known as Egypt mania. People going crazy. They're trying to have all type of artifacts coming out of Egypt, and they want to explain everything in the world in light of Egypt. Now, a lot of good things came out. We found out a lot, and Sheikh Anta Diop and others spoke about Egypt, and, you know, my hat's off to them guys. They came with a lot of truth, and it's all good, but at the same time, a lot of lies came in there. We see Gerald Massey with his comparative, and he was an amateur Egyptologist. He came in there with his comparative religion. We see writings like Kersey Graves and World's 16 Crucified Saviors talking about Osiris was born from a virgin and he had 12 disciples. Gerald Massey said that he was baptized by Anubis, attempting to equate him with John the Baptist in the Bible. Go back to the original sources and check that out. None of that stuff we can prove. Nobody that's somebody an Egyptologist will tell us anything about Anubis being a baptizer, about Osiris being born of a virgin, and all of this stuff. It's madness that they try to mingle together with the Bible to try to explain things out of Scripture, but historically speaking, they can't stand. So we're going to drop some videos on that. Far as the white man, a lot of brothers say the white man gave us the Bible. Well, historically speaking, they say 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. But prior to Columbus, like I said, Christianity existed in Ethiopia. We got a whole history of the Coptic Church in Egypt. How can you explain away over 270 years of Christianity prior to the Nicene Council? Let alone talking about the white man gave us the Bible. The Bible was already in Africa. Historically speaking, that's not right and exact. So we gotta be careful with our racism. We may feel a certain way about Europeans and what Europeans did with slavery, but historically speaking, there's a lot of statements out there that's being made from people, and they're not facts. And I'm calling y'all out on that. Y'all want to get with me? Matter of fact, I'm going to be in Harlem. I'm going to be in the streets of Harlem this summer. Berean, we're going to get out there. We're going to talk to Sinetta and them cats. Shout out to Sinetta. But there's a lot of cats that I see on there that they're saying a lot of stuff that's not right and exact, and I'm going to call y'all out on that. I'm into that bed. I'm into Massey and Finch, Book of the Dead, Book of Beginnings. I'm into Sir Wallace Budge. I'm into Sheikh Anta Diop. I'm into King and Black Dot and the ISIS Papers, and I'm into all of that. But at the same time, I'm a tongue-talking Pentecostal Christian, orthodox in my doctrine. I believe the Word of God can stand. We're going to talk about the historicity of the Bible. We're going to talk about Bible manuscripts. Was the Scriptures tampered with? We're going to talk about all of that. Of course, a lot of people say a lot of slick stuff. Oh, the Bible is tampered with. White man tampered with the Bible. Y'all got to show and prove. Manuscript evidence speaks for itself. Now, when it comes down to manuscript evidence in the Bible, what's another thing these mythicists say? They something else too. Oh, Jesus never existed. We got black atheists here running around here talking a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Jesus never existed. If Jesus never existed, according to the historical facts, Alexander the Great never existed. Herodotus never existed. Caesar never existed. Homer never existed. And so we got to be careful with that. And we're going to compare the Bible to these other books. We're going to look at manuscripts, original manuscripts. No, we don't have no original manuscripts for the Bible. When I say that, some Christians get tight, but that's facts. I deal with facts. I'm saved, I'm a believer, but I deal with facts. And as a minister of research and apologetics, the facts are there are no original sources, or what we call autographs. We don't have the writings of John per se in a library in a British Museum or somewhere that we can find in Cairo, somewhere in Europe, somewhere here in the States. We don't have that. But at the same time, we don't have the original writings of Homer. We don't have the original writings of Josephus. We don't have the original writings of nobody. Anything that's come out of antiquity, we don't have the original writings of. So we're going to explain all of that. We're going to show you manuscript evidence, how far removed the original manuscripts are from the copies. If we're going to deal with the scribes, we're going to deal with the Dead Sea Scrolls, Nag Hammadi texts, missing books out of the Bible. We're going to explain all of that stuff. Like I said, we're on some black stuff, but we're kingdom people. And we're going to answer some questions. We're going to deal with the Bible and why we feel the Bible is the way the Bible is. The Bible is the only religious text that speaks about the New World Order, speaks about Luciferianism, speaks about the occult and the Illuminati, and we're going to deal with all of that, origins of the Illuminati. Did man give us religion? Is religion man-made? Yes, of course, religion is man-made. So I agree with Machiavelli on that, that religion is man-made. We're going to talk about Machiavelli, Hume's, and various philosophers, Richard Dawkins, atheist, the new atheistic movement. I'm throwing out a lot of stuff, but throughout the year, we're going to be dropping videos on all those subjects, and we're gonna give y'all some facts. We're going to give y'all some historical stuff. And we may do some interviews with some other people, but we're going to be in the streets. We're going to talk. We're going to give y'all a bunch of sources, legit sources. We're going to teach y'all about primary sources and secondary sources, and we're going to show y'all why the Bible stands among all other books. If you like what you hear, subscribe. Look for the other videos, and I hope to see you soon. All right, how many minutes was that?